Thank you so much for listening to #Impact, a podcast about stuff that matters. It's my honor to introduce you to today's special feature, where the amazing team of KELY Support Group is taking the mic. KELY Support Group is empowering young people to reach their full potential. I am personally a huge fan of their work. I am in awe for their commitment, for their cause, and it's been such an amazing privilege to be teaming up with them as our Season 4 charity beneficiary. I wanted for this season, and I committed to that, I wanted to get more voices heard. And I don't always have access to all the beneficiaries of the amazing organizations that I feature. But now with this production, you, for the very first time, get to hear voices of the people that are directly, positively impacted by the amazing and really important work that KELY Support Group is doing. In Hong Kong, many youth hide their emotions and fear to express when they are mentally unwell. In this episode, through the sharing of two young people on their personal stories and struggles, we want to raise awareness of the importance of youth mental health and well-being, and to ignite knowledge to destigmatize mental health problems. Moreover, to address the impact of youth peer support. And that is what KELY's work is all about. And you will hear more about this in this week's episode. If you want to find out more about the KELY Support Group programs, then visit their website, kely.org. That is KELY.org. And now, enjoy this week's episode. Before we can dive into this episode, I would like to introduce you to the people that were part of this conversation. Rosanna Yim, Senior Manager, Communications and Development of KELY Support Group. Mickey Ang, Communications and Development Coordinator of KELY Support Group. These two hosts, Rosanna and Mickey, had the honor to introduce and welcome their guests, Chung Hyu Ting, Christine, a working youth who has just graduated from a local secondary school, Lillian Acornero, also known as Lilibel, a grade 8 student from an international school. And joining this conversation was also Susan Acornero, who is Lilibel's mom. I'd love for you to really take the time to truly listen to what these young people have to say and to share. And I am really proud of them for having the courage to be open and honest about these challenges that they do face. So thank you so much, Christine and Lilibel. I am certain that your experience and your sharing will help others too.
Lilibel, what do you think about mental health well-being is?
Well, Christine, I think for me, as a middle school student, I believe that mental health is how well you can kind of cope with negative and positive things. So if you have enough positive things in your life, you can keep on going. If suddenly a negative thing comes and kind of drops you a bit, but you can see enough positive things, and you have enough strength and resilience within you that you can then get back on track with your life.
Hey, Christine. So, what do you think about mental health? Like, I understand that you just graduated from secondary school, and you have been working for 10 months in the workforce. Hey, share with us what's your view on mental health issues?
I think mental health issues have in different people too. It affects not just our mental health, but affects our physical health because after our emotion being affected, it will make us have some eating disorder, and we may feel a lot of stress, and we don't know how to cope with it. And we will not try to reach out to other people, but we will keep it to ourselves. So I think it's a very serious problem we have to cope.
My name is Susan, and as a mother, mental health to me is something that I wasn't really focused upon. I was more focused on my daughter's school grades and how she was achieving, rather than sort of the stress that she was under. I feel that she and I have a pretty good communication. However, as she's becoming more and more of a teenager, she's less reluctant to talk to me. So when I'm asking her, what happened at school today, it's always like, I can't remember, I don't know. Not for any, I don't think for any particular reason why she's not sharing. I think it's more of a hormonal thing, an age she's growing thing, that she's not communicating with me. So I myself would like to learn more tools, basically techniques on how I can communicate with my daughter, to help her basically, to help me understand her better as well.
Does school provide any support on mental health issues, Lilibel?
I think my school does have a pretty good ground on platform on mental health, because every Wednesday we have to fill out a survey on how we're feeling, how many hours of sleep did we get, do we feel like we have enough support at home, school, within our friend groups. However, the problem with this is actually a majority of my friends I know don't fill out the survey 100%, because we know it's not anonymous, and we know that the counselors and teachers can see who said what. And we don't want to say something wrong that then the counselors and teachers will start to get worried. They might misread us because we might fill it out on a bad day, or they might think like they're not mentally well, and then that might contribute to us getting a lower grade and will affect our college ability to get into college and things like that. Also, my school has a lot of talks with mental health every second week or so, and I think those are great. However, as middle school students, after hearing the same person talk about the same thing many times, we just start kind of blocking their voice and just kind of taking it as a daily routine kind of thing. So I think that if we could have different workshops and different people coming in to talk about mental health, I feel like that could really help us as middle school students to focus and understand that mental health is not just something that the counselors want to talk to us about because it's there. It will help us to understand that it is much more frequent now, especially within our age group.
Yeah, I also agree with it. And when I first get into workplace, I'm all a newbie, and I will feel very shy to ask my supervisor for help, and I will feel pressure because my other classmate in secondary school or go to school, and now I'm trying to take another way. But after that, I feel it's about how we value ourselves. It's not by some like social medias, like by our peers, by our seniors who talk, what are you, what is really you. It's about how we value ourselves and how we other elements to our lives. And I think mental health should be treated in the first sight. Otherwise, it will get worsened.
It seems to me that stigma is an issue about talking mental health in the community. So Christine just mentioned to me, you just said that you were afraid to raise the questions to ask. Do both of you think that stigma is an issue in open up the conversations in the community on mental health?
When it comes to mental health, it's always being symbolized into some crazy or some problematic things. But I think when people really find that they have the depression symptoms, they need to reach out for a proper treat. Because when we are in lower mood, we will try to take it to ourselves, but not to reach out to other people. When these things happen, we will feel hopeless, and after that, we will maybe take on some measure to maybe take our own life. So it is very important, and it will affect our surrounding people, like our families, our friends. They will feel also upset, and they will feel very regrets about how they treat their dearest.
So in your observation, because you may think that for example the mental health problem may be a stigma for them. So in your observation, do you think the teenagers nowadays will use which methods to cope with their mental health problem?
They will hide themselves. It's very true. Yeah. Because in social media, they will try to look out for a better life. They will find out in social media they will have another life. When their friends post some photos, they will think it's a very stylish picture, and they want to have that life. But in reality, they don't have that kind of things to reach.
I totally agree with you, Christine. And adding on to you, I feel like social media has been a great tool, but also a tool that can bring us down. In the way that, like you said, when people want to see what their friends are doing and to kind of fantasize about having a better life, quote unquote. And so they look at their friends' Instagram posts, or like complete strangers' Instagram posts, and see how their life compares to theirs. And people are very judgmental and will always inclined to judge people, even if it's supposed to be a safe space. And then we naturally would be judging our life compared to this person's life. And something that many people forget is that these are only highlights of that person's life. If you were to see, then if that person were to vlog about every single aspect of their life, you will be looking at it and thinking, actually, this person's life is quite similar to mine. Sadly, this does not happen, and people dwell on kind of the parts that will bring themselves down. And also, I think stigma is also kind of influences our choices that we make, because if I were to get dizzy one day and then I have the choice of going home, the first thing that sometimes comes to my mind is this going to go against my records? Not, am I going to be okay to stay for the rest of the day? And having stigma influence your choices can be a good thing or a bad thing, because, however, I think it's in the way of mental health, it does not bring us up, but it brings us more down, because, like Christine has already said, we think about if what when we seek help, if it's going to positively impact us or negatively impact us. And we all most of the time think it's going to negatively impact our grades at school or our work life or even social life, because people might start to distance away from you, thinking like you're kind of maybe in a way crazy, because when we think of bad mental health, we think of crazy people.
And you will be isolated because of like the stigma thing. People think that something happened to he or she is just crazy. Well, we better get away from him in order to get away from any trouble with him or her or him. Yeah.
For both of you in your communities, have you or even your friends have suffering from mental health problems? Can you share the story to us?
I have a friend that often that takes into what other people's maybe looks or thoughts too personally. And maybe one person could be like, maybe the teacher's actually talking to the whole class, like, you guys, I am very disappointed in you guys. You guys did not meet the brief. And even though this person might have met the brief, she takes in what the teacher's saying and does not think that the teacher's actually saying it to the whole class, but takes it and channels what the teacher has said into her own feelings, which has sometimes brought this person down. And I feel like that's also a big thing within middle schoolers and school students in general. We rely too much what our teachers and peers think on our grades. And if we don't get like an A+ or something that we've worked really hard on, then we feel like, I didn't work hard on this. I need to do more, even though you had done your best. And also a couple with my friends, my parents are very supportive, and they always tell me your best is always literally the best you get, and that's an A+ in their eyes. And then I have friends whose their parents are like, your best is not enough. I need you to do more than your best. Or like, even though one of my friends has gotten the maximum grade possible, the parents still punish that girl because they were like, the teacher's comments was not good enough, or you need to do better than the best grade. The best grade is a grade they cannot write down on paper. And I feel like that's also a very big pressure, and that we just need to be reminded more and more that we cannot do more than what we are capable of. Because then it gets to the point where the stress is just too much. And stress is originally used in engineering, where if there's a lot of stress in one piece, is that, say, the metal bar, there's too much stress on that, meaning it's about to break or it can't hold that. And with stress on top of us, we're like the metal bar about to break.
It made me remind of how when I'm attending the public examination, one of my classmates always feel unhappy, and he did not reach out to any people, and he pretended to be happy. And after that, he always cry after the examination, and the result is not good, obviously. And sometimes when they are unhappy, it is really easy for them to hurt themselves. And luckily, I take him to the social worker, and is under a scheme called the SHINE. And after that, he continued his examination because he has worked so hard on it, and he was treated step by step, like have the psychologist to consult and have the follow-up workshop and campaigns to help him treat the issue. And I think it's a very positive way to face the problem. but not to hurt themselves. And even in my workplace now, some colleagues have to meet the deadline and have overtime working, and it always make them feel unhappy and not in a teamwork, because some colleagues may leave earlier and they will still remain in the office to work. And it's important for the employer to notice that it's really a problem. And a stronger community and a stronger belongings should be held in a workplace, because it really strengthens the connection between colleagues, but not just when I finish a task, I can go. It's very boring things, and colleagues will not like it.
Yeah, and I feel like exams contribute a lot to our stress. And I feel like maybe schools should have a quick talk before every big exam, how just to do your best, and how not just this exam will count towards your goals. If you somehow just completely flunk this exam, but they know that you're so much better, like they still look at all the different things you've done through the day, so that one exam isn't 100% of your grade. And because right now in my school we're studying for a standardized test known as the MAP, and every single year when we do the MAP, all my friends, even my really smart friends, my friends that are always really bubbly, we all just suddenly, as the day gets closer to the MAP, once we're on that day and we're just waiting for that class to start, we'll all just suddenly, I see this drop in energy and everyone thinking, what am I going to do? And I'm going to use another metaphor. So it feels like when we're walking up, say, to the peak of Mount Everest, it's like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And then you get to say 50 questions on the map and you're like, it's supposed to end by now. When is this going to end? And then suddenly it keeps on going to 60, and you start going I cannot do this. I'm going to fail. I cannot do this. I'm going to fail. And I feel like exams are definitely one of the most stressful times, because especially once you hit middle school, you know that more and more things are going to count towards your college. And after college counts towards basically the rest of your life. And it feels like you need to do just kind of, these grades are so just basically thrown on top of you. And I feel like sometimes we just need to be reminded more often, mainly right before tests, or have a nice breather during the MAP test and stuff, and be told and reminded again and again and again, it's going to be okay, because everyone has to do it. And this one test isn't going to go to 100% of your grade. It'll probably make up 10% in total.
Yeah, I think exam or some task is just part of our life. It should not be affected by the mental health should not be affected by this small part of our life. And it's so important for us to maintain a good health, both physically and mentally. When we have put a lot of effort in exam, we should also maintain our exercise, and we have to talk to our friends about our problems. We should have a good chat about them.
Can you elaborate a bit more to why it is very important to maintain a good mental health and well-being during the growth of a young people?
When we encounter mental health, it will affect our peers and affect our family. And when we don't treat it ourselves, we don't take a look in the problem, we will have a poor eating disorder. We were affected by the emotions, and when they take a look of our situation, they will feel down also. They will try to help you, but you don't want them to help, so it will result in a poor physical health. And when we can treat this problem, and we can build up a society, a good health society, it can sustain to educate our future generation to have a good health and mental health. When they, especially in this age, we are turning from a labor-intensive into an intelligence-intensive one. People are always compare themselves to the others, and when they are in a competitive way, we should also know that people are here to care for you, like the KELY support group. They are always here, and many NGOs are here for you to reach out. So it's very important for us to know that when you feel problem, it is not a way to escape. You shouldn't find the way to escape, but you should speed it out and try to reach people for help.
I feel like mental health is really important because, like Christine has said, it affects our everyday life, and it is caused by emotions and effects in your life. And I'm going to use another metaphor simile that in a way, emotions are kind of like autoimmune diseases. They negative emotions kind of start attacking you in a way, and start attacking to the point where you just feel like you can't get up. However, the positive emotions are like the cells within you that help heal the autoimmune disease, and they kind of help you get brought back up, just in a way, give you wings and fly above the clouds. Susan, you said earlier that you were a parent. As a parent, what do you think that the government, schools can do more to help children and adults in general, Hong Kong citizens with mental health problems?
Well, I think the government can do a lot more to help by providing easier access to mental health help. Groups like KELY and a lot of NGOs have to rely on fundraising in order to provide these services. But I think the government can contribute a lot more. They do have, I believe, the welfare department and so forth. But I think, those welfare departments are more focused on helping people economically. Putting a roof over their head, helping them with food and so forth. But more attention needs to be paid to mental health, because statistics have shown mental health problems tend to be higher in the lower socioeconomic group, because the stress of not knowing where your next meal is coming from, the stress of, will I have a roof over my head, especially those with families, can I provide for my family, and the wealth disparity in Hong Kong is so great. You have those with everything, and then such a huge amount of population that have barely anything. And I think the government can do a lot more to address this situation. But for the time being, thank God for NGOs and thank God for organizations like KELY that is providing these programs to people, especially to children. KELY, for me, is particularly special because I have a daughter, and to know that there are services that she can access if she's feeling stressed or troubled, and programs that she can access whereby she can learn and have the tools to deal with it, and also more importantly to help others as well. So I think what KELY does is fantastic, and a lot more awareness needs to be made of mental health problems amongst everybody of all ages, and all genders.
KELY is such an amazing program that kind of helps out with this area for young youth. I was wondering, Rosanna, what type of programs does KELY have to offer, and what do they do?
On the topic of youth mental health, KELY has offered two programs. One is called Growing Up with KELY. It is an early risk identification assessment program. And the second one is Talk to Me. Talk to Me is a program that where we equip a group of young people about the skills and knowledge of tackling mental health issues. From other than the group of young people are equipped with certain skills and techniques, they are able to be aware of what's about mental health. They are able to aware of what's happening on themselves as well as peers around them. So whenever the peers needs assistance, they are able to and they are capable to offer support and help to the peers. So these are the two programs that we focus on tackling youth mental health issues in Hong Kong.
I think that's great, especially with the Growing Up with KELY, because the Talk to Me, because knowing as a middle schooler, students don't really want to listen to their teachers talk. I feel like if students talk to other students, we definitely have a more open mind to it. And we understand it so much better, because also sometimes teachers say it in ways that children don't understand what they're trying to say. However, if students were to say it to other students, they understand what we understand. So I think that definitely students should be able to learn how to talk and understand, and in a way be their counselors to their friends.
Right. So this Talk to Me programs helps young people helps that group of young people to raise awareness of youth mental health issues in their own campus by creating their own campaign, their own project to convey the positive messages to their peers. So that really helps. I remember a group of young people, they even organized a forum to parents to discuss with parents how they can openly discuss these issues with their children when needed. Not only about this, we also encourage young people to communicate to their parents as well as any trusted adults whenever that happens. That mental health issues happen to them or they encounter any difficulties or problem. So don't hide the issues themselves, but really open up the conversations among trusted adults. Yeah.
It sounds very good because it's a youth initiative program. And when we look at mental health, it always the parents or the people always told us that it is negative things. But when we look at the mental health in a young youth perspective, we will know more about how it really hurt the other youth and why does it result like this, and how they can use their peer power to help themselves.
And I understand that KELY has a Instagram forum where they get volunteers to say inspirational quotes. I think that's great because people need to know how words can really affect people. Like on the front door of my bedroom, I have a big quote wall of inspirational quotes that I wake up to every morning and come home to after school. And I feel like that really helps me after a stressful day at school, or to prepare me mentally for the school day to come. And also how social media can be used as a tool. Because a lot now, I understand that adults, especially adults, believe that social media is something to bring you down on, and it allows a lot of cyberbullying, which I agree, it does allow cyberbullying. However, with being able to do this Instagram posts every Monday and Friday, it kind of shows how social media can also be used as a tool to help people.
Yeah, I think we should have a good environment in no matter in school or in workplace or in the whole society. We should maintain a good mental health being, and that is to sustainable to our next generation. So thanks to the NGOs like KELY's to keep supporting in these mental health issues. And
So through these conversations, I realized that everyone agrees that education is very important, not just only to our young people at their early ages, but to the community of different stakeholders, such as families, schools, and general publics. And to remove stigma is one of the very big issues as well. So people are afraid of talking about that, and then they don't go to seek help, support. That makes the issues getting serious, and that really affects the entire community. So raising the awareness in the community is part of our effort and our responsibility. So I hoped through our conversations in this group this afternoon, I hope every one of us can help to raise awareness of that, these mental health issues in the community in order to really support our young people, to help them to help them develop a future, a bright future in Hong Kong as a whole. Well, thank you very much. I hope to see you all again next time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us for this really important conversation brought to you by the amazing team over at KELY Support Group. I am incredibly excited to share with you that since recording this interview, KELY will be expanding their mental health and well-being projects with a third program, Cool Minds, a whole school approach initiative launched in collaboration with Mind HK and supported by the WEAS project. Cool Minds will be localizing successful models from overseas with the aim to improve the mental health of young people in Hong Kong through training, information sharing, online resources, destigmatization, and support for the adults around them. I am in awe for the impact that the KELY programs are making. And if you want to reach out to them, you can find all their information at their website at kely.org. That is KELY.org. And feel free to just reach out to them and shoot them an email at contact@kely.org. If you're looking for the show notes to this episode, you can head over to #impact.com/KELY, where we dedicated a whole page to the amazing work that KELY Support Group is doing. You will also find former episodes with their amazing team over there. And as always, I just want to say a big thank you again for taking the time to listening to this. Just by listening, you are making an impact. And if you want to make even more impact, then please feel free to share this episode with other people that should listen to it. Talk to you soon. Bye.